Okay, let us. Okay, we're gonna stand. So we'll probably get the chair a little bit just because that offloads some things so we can still do some strengthening stuff with a little bit of offload, and you can always venture off your chair. But let's start standing. Okay. And again, we are electromagnetic beings. We are energetic beings. So we are influenced by right? We are connected energetically to the universe, good and bad. So let's intend or attend to or connect to what feels good. Right. So maybe even just taking a moment and feeling your feet connect to the ground, to your floor, but imagining your setting your awareness down to the earth, even little sprouting roots. Right. That we extend ourselves energetically all the time, right, to others, into the space, out into nature. And then using the arms just to gather. Right, it's been really, really lots of big sun happening here. And just pull it into the body. We can do a few sweeps. Right, inhale, 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 inhale. And exhale, 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 wherever feels needed. Tissues, bones, heart, emotions, thoughts, beliefs, brain tissue, neurons, cells, tendons, ligaments, just bringing in some love and care, turning some love in, scooping it up, and softening to receive. Two more, depending on your pacing. And I'm going a little more quickly. Sometimes I go really slow. Sometimes the slow, maybe you can feel more. Or let it soften in more. And pause. One hand on heart, one hand on belly. Maybe with the movement of the arms, there's a little sense of the heartbeat. Can you feel that heartbeat with your hand or just your body? Feeling the belly soften, widen. Base of the pelvis soften and widen. The jaw soften and widen. Good. Let's inhale. And exhale. Next inhale, a little sigh on the exhale. You can give it sound, even just the sound of the breath, or vocalize a little. Ah. Right. In some ways, our own voice can be very soothing to heart, to body. Inhale again. Do a long hum through the exhale. Mm. Let the breath cycle through. With longer inhale. Longer exhale. Inhale nice and slow. Inhale a little more. Exhale nice and slow. Exhale a little more. Inhale. Inhale a little more. Exhale. Exhale a little more. Slight shift. Inhale. Inhale a little more. Inhale a little more. Exhale. Exhale a little more. Exhale a little more. One more breath, just like that. Inhale. A little more, still soft and wide. It's softening the shape around the breath. Inhale a little more and exhale. Less force, less push. Exhale a little more. Exhale a little more. Relax the breath. And you feel your heartbeat. Good. And next inhale, let's exhale with an Om. Om. Okay. Again, I'm just going to start with these just because it helps with our upper body. A little circulation in the upper body. Shoulders, neck, head, brain. Our brain has its own lymphatic system. Good, and changing direction. Also feeling shoulder blades. Even as shoulder blades and arms move, just noticing the connection to the neck. How can you move so the neck can connect to the rest of the spine, but also not totally tighten up? Good. And release. Let's take the arms wide. Good. Lift the chin a little. And as the arms come forward, let the chin drop a little. And opening and rounding, extending just the upper pole, upper spine, and flexion, that little extension and flexion and extension and flexion. Let's do a little diagonal, one arm up, one arm down. Little tip of the head. Extension with a little side bend, flexion. One more each side, little side bend. Getting into neck and ribs, shoulders, front shoulder. And center. Okay, a little bit of head movement. Ear, one side. Center, other side. Good, nice, easy movement. So less about what end range is doing. That you can pause and breathe there. Not needing to push. And center, just a little engagement, hand to head to hand. Again, can you feel, we've done this before, so can you organize? Is the head pushing, or is it pushing forward as it's pushing to the side? And then other hand, head into hand. Other side, and then let's bring fingers to the forehead, pushing forward, front neck muscles, and then pushing back neck muscles, upper back muscles. Good. Again, just a little side, little turn to one side, center, side. Again, doesn't have to be to the full end range. It's really more the ease and the rotation, getting these nice big arteries and veins moving blood. And then come back to center, and let's take hip forward and back and forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Maybe a little turn to the left, slight turn, forward and back. All right, so you're kind of moving forward and left and back and right. And then other side. Turning right, moving forward and to the right, a little back and to the left. Ooh. And then back to center. Good. Pause. Again, little turn and turn. One more. Nice and easy. Okay, let's do our eyes. So thumb out in front. My head is going to be pointed, my eyes pointed at my thumb right now. Keep the eyes on the thumb. Head tips up to the upper corner of the room and then down to the opposite shoulder. Eyes stay fixed on the thumb. Head up, diagonal, down across to the opposite shoulder. This is my right thumb, so I'm going to the upper right corner, lower left corner. Doesn't matter which side you're on. Good. Two more. Good, and release, other side. Eyes looking at thumb, head going up. Again, I'm going upper left corner, lower right with my face, my chin, but the eyes are staying focused on the thumb. I'm also noticing I'm doing a little bit of a side bend in my spine. Good. Maybe two more. Find a rhythm that works for you. It's just a decoupling movement. Ah, feels so good. And then come back to center. Good. And just a little movement up, down, side to side, maybe a little circle. And then the other side. Okay. Hands on shoulders. I know we've been doing this last couple of weeks, but it just works. Side, side. Again, legs can be straight, knees can be bent if that helps, right? Because you're getting all this tissue from hip to foot that's rotating, right? These long diagonal rotations. Good. And let's release the arms, take the feet a little wider, soften your knees, couple qigong swings. Good, maybe letting the hips swing. Good, and we haven't done this in a while, but let's just do a little tapping, either soft palm or soft fist. Just coming in a little more center, pelvic, lower belly, so you get these pelvic organs, upper back pelvis. Good, lower waist. Good. Upper waist in the front, kidney in the back. Just a little tapping. Nice and easy. Good. Maybe higher chest, lungs, heart. Good. Either upper kidney area or even higher, depending on your arm swing. Good. And coming back down. It could be a little more to the side, a little more center. Just stimulating our meridian lines, our organs. Good. And slowing it down. And coming back to center. All right. All right. Chin to chest. So back line is also our bladder line in Chinese medicine, right? So chin to chest, rounding down. So from actually the eyes up across the skull, along close to the center line, down along either side of the spine, and down the backs of the legs, right? The whole bladder line, cousin to the kidney line. Bending knees and straightening. Bending knees. Let's walk the hands maybe to the outside of the right foot. Just getting a little side bend. Left hand and left hip away from each other. Maybe just a nice big breath into those side ribs. And then other side. Good. Right hand and right hip. Right, just quietly moving, creating space, creating an opening for that bigger breath. And center, letting the head be heavy, but rounding back up, shifting back onto the legs. And rounding up. Okay, let's come to chair. So and do a couple more. Left handy, just in case. So simple twist, opposite hand to knee. So again, I like to check in with my back and notice which side of my back, because I have a little bit of a rotation. So my right side is further back than my left, right? So if I feel right side is further back, so that means my spine is rotating to the right. So I'm going to turn that direction first. So if your left side is further back, or if you can't tell, just pick a side. Opposite hand to knee. Little twist. See if you can let the breath drop into the belly, lower back, maybe even to the base of the pelvis. Or into the ribs. Doesn't all have to be the same breath. You can focus your breath. Different areas of the body, different breath. It's getting really foggy outside. I thought it was my eyes. Okay, turning to the other side. A little bit longer on the other side, especially if there's a clear rotation. Sitting bones heavy, heels heavy. Again, notice that the head is moving forward. Right, just aware of the back of the room, aware of your peripheral vision. A widening in the back of the neck, even between the ears. And come back to center, maybe just check in with your back. And first side again, right? Just to notice how that rotation shifted or didn't shift. First side. Good, let's drop the chin just a little bit. Again, breath into those back lower ribs. Right, kidneys sit underneath the ribs, or inside the ribs, I should say, a little bit tucked into the ribs and a little bit moving down into the lower back, just a little bit, depending on the body. Just letting the breath fill that back body a little bit, widening, softening, spreading. And then let's slowly come back up. Coming back to center. And other side. And just notice where your attention is drawn, chin to chest, whether to sensation or thought, breath. Good. Back, lower ribs, kidney area, middle back, upper back, neck. Where's there more sensation? Or less? Slowly roll back up. And coming back to center. Ah, good. One more. We're just going to roll down the center. So chin to chest. I'm opening up my feet just a little bit. Rounding down, rounding forward. Hands to the floor or to the blocks. My sitting bones are heavy. So there's a nice round shape to bring the crown of the head, not just towards the floor, but even in towards the chair, or imagining crown of head towards tailbone. And then start to lengthen the crown of the head out away from the tailbone towards the front of your space. And then one more rounding. And one more extending. And let's walk the hands forward. Right, sitting bones stay heavy. Hands crawling forward, forward, forward. Good. Reach that right hand a little further forward, stretching that, again, right hip back away from that reaching hand. And then opposite. Left hand crawls forward, away from that left heavy hip. Both hands creep forward. And then hands slide back, press into the feet, into the sitting bones. And round up. Okay. I'm going to take hands on blocks. We may have done this already, but we're going to do it again. For any of those who missed. So I have my blocks on middle height. You can always turn your blocks up higher height. And I am going to grab my blocks, a little grip strength. I'm going to reach. So I'll start with the right hand. So right arm reaches forward. And then the left hand presses down into the block just to turn those left ribs down. So they reach that right arm out and up. The ribs turn, right? More than the shoulder, the ribs turn. And then reaching back and down. And again, forward. Good. Left hand presses down. Left ribs turn down to turn the belly to the right, to lift those right ribs up. The arm comes up and back and down, right? So I'm moving more from the rib cage, less from the shoulder, more from the waist and rib cage. Good, and let's bring that right hand down. Good, plant that block. Take the left arm forward, reaching. And again, pressing down into that right hand, the ribs turn down, the belly turns to the left. The ribs turn to bring that left arm, and the left arm might not be up, it might be out to the side a little. Depends on how much the body turns. And then forward, right ribs down, belly turns left, left ribs lift to lift the arm goes back. One more time, forward and up and back and down. Right side, so left hand pressing down, right arm reaching back and up, same thing, right? Left arm is working to help steer the ribs. And again, another circle back and up, left ribs down to turn the right ribs up. And one more circle. Good, and other side, right? Right hand presses down, left arm back and up and forward. Left arm back, right ribs turn down, the belly turns to the left. Good, and just keep exploring how your body is organizing. Okay, let's go forward again. This time we're going to go opposite, right? So we'll do right arm forward and up and back and down and switch left arm forward and up and back and down. One more each side. Good. So let it be clear, but also let it be fluid. And then let's reverse. So right arm goes back and up, forward and down, switch sides, left arm back and up and forward. First side, right arm back, up, forward, and left arm back, up, and forward. Good. Rounding to come up. Okay. So kidney line is inner leg. So let's take feet together. We'll just do lifting heels, take heels out, lifting balls of the feet, turn the toes out, lifting heels, turn the heels out, lifting toes, turn the toes out. Pause here. Good. Just going to tip forward tiny bit. You can adjust your feet if you need to. And come back, and let's work on those inner legs just for another moment. So back of hands against the inner knees, knees against the hands, pressing forward into the hands, pressing back into the knees. Good. Wide across the chest, wide across the back. Keeping that isometric. Another breath or two. Good. And release. Okay. All right. So hands on chair. I'm just going to take one leg. So right knee in and down. And then back out, left knee in and down, and then back out. Right, so I'm going to internally rotate that leg, and then externally rotate, and then other side. Left knee, internally rotate, and externally rotate. Internally rotate, externally rotate. In and out. One more each side. Good, and in and out. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to keep my left knee where it is. I'm just going to straighten that right leg, pressing the back of the thigh into the chair. Good, planting the feet, pressing into the feet. Let's take the arms out to the side, warrior two shape. So I am pressing down into my feet and just thinking about lifting off of the chair. Right, I'm still connected to the chair. But if the chair were to leave, I might be okay. And then let's take right hand down, left arm up. Good, turning, looking towards the left, or maybe even looking left and up. And then back up to warrior two. Good, and settle your weight. Come back to where we started. Other side. So I'm going to extend that left leg. Turn the knee towards the front of the room. Foot flat on the floor. Again, notice, maybe even just let your hands on hips and just tip towards the right and towards the left. So left sitting bone heavy, right sitting bone heavy. Right, some of us may be a little more angled towards one leg or towards the other. Good. And then anchor the feet. Let's take the arms out, press into the feet. Again, as if you could lift off the chair. Depends on you. Notice if you're pitching forward with your torso or your head. Sitting bones a little heavier. And maybe not on the chair, but just heavier towards the floor. And then left hand down, right arm up. Again, maybe looking right and up. And then come back to warrior two. And release. Legs to the front, just for a moment. Trying to think of how to sneak this. Okay, so feet together, feet together. Just going to do little steps. So feet together. So we've been tipping with the feet on the floor, but let's lift the heels up and tip towards the feet. My heels are up. So a little different. And I love having my fingers right at the tops of my thighs. So I can keep my right at the top of the thigh. You can feel one of your quad tendons there. And then come back up. And then tip forward. My heels are lifted, maybe stretching the arms out to the side or back. Press into the balls of the feet to come back up. And again, tipping forward. My heels are up. Good. Pressing into the balls of the feet and pushing myself back up. Good. Let's put the heels down. Try one, tipping forward. Good. I'm going to lift one heel while I'm forward. Press into both feet. And then switch, dropping the heel that was lifted and lifting the other heel. And then lifting both heels and pushing back up to sit. And again, my heels are lifted, pushing forward and pushing back. Let's drop one heel and tip forward. So my left heel is up, my right heel is down. And push back. You can take the arms out to the side, tip forward, both heels are lifted. And push back, this time dropping left heel and tip forward. And back, and just switching sides one time. So come back up, switch one heel up, left heel up, right heel down, and tip, and push back. Right heel lifted, left heel down, tip forward, and push back. Both heels up, tip forward. Maybe arms come forward. They don't have to stretch long. They can stay close to the body. You get to choose. And then push up and back. Okay, turning out, lifting heels, tip forward. Again, you get to decide how much of a turnout, again, does affect the tendons around the knees. Tipping forward, arms can be back or hands on hips. And push back. Let's bring the heels down, same thing, tip forward. Just feel the different load through the leg. Again, your toes can point forward if they need to. Push back. Let's lift one heel and tip forward. And push back, switch sides. Lifting the other heel. And push back one more time each side. And other side, tipping back, other heel lifting. And push back. Okay, so One more, feet together, lifting heels, turning heels out, heels down, lifting balls of the feet, turning out. Lifting heels, turning the heels out, legs turn in, lifting the balls of the foot, turning out, knees turn out. Okay, coming back to right knee in, a little posterior tilt, right, little tuck of the sitting bones in the tailbone, anterior tilt, posterior tilt, anterior tilt, posterior tilt. And then I'm going to sneak that foot back a little bit more. Same thing, anterior, posterior. And sneak back just a little more. Maybe it straightens-ish. Okay, so I'm just going to tip forward. So my torso's tipping forward. I'm going to load that front leg so you can walk it wherever it needs to be so that it feels fine. And load it. So I can lift that back thigh. I'm loading that front leg. Good, inner foot, inner heel, outer heel, big toe, little toe. Let's take that right hand to the floor or to the block. And I'm going to, same thing we did on the blocks. I'm going to push down into that right hand to turn the ribs down towards the hand, maybe left hand on chair to help turn the belly towards that left leg. You can pause here, or you can take that left arm out and up, turning the belly even more. Good, and then bringing that left hand down, and let's just go ahead and turn to the front of the room. So left hand to the floor, right arm out and up, right? A little different. If you want, you can put that right foot flat on the floor, press into both feet and lift off the chair just a little. Or you can stay on the chair. And then right hand down. Good. Lifting that back heel, softening that back knee, maybe, or actually just rounding up, keeping that back leg straight. Good. Letting the sitting bones get heavy. Arms out to the side, maybe arms up. Warrior One-ish shape. Good. And then release. Okay. So we haven't done the other side yet, but we're just going to play with heels up. My feet are about sitting bone distance apart. Hands on the front of the chair. And I'm just going to shift my hips off of the chair. The hands are pushing the chair down. I'm on the ball of the feet and the hands. I'm just going to let my hips shift forward a little and shift back. You can organize your feet further out or further in. Hips forward and up. Right, little bit of a tabletop position with hands on the chair. Spreading across the chest as the hips come up and back. One more. Good. And then let's come to the other side. All right, so right foot out, left leg in. You can start here if you like that inner leg stretch. Then little anterior, posterior. And then sneaking that leg back. And if it's easier for you to keep the leg closer in, do that. If it's easier to keep it slightly bent, do that. Right. Feel what feels right for body. Good. And then I'm going to tip forward. Again, loading that front leg. I'm still have a little bit of load on the back leg. I'm still engaging that back foot into the ground, right? Imagining the chair isn't there. Good, and let's take left hand to the floor or to a block. Right hand on the chair, turning the belly towards that right leg. Again, you get to decide how much chair you want. And then again, reaching down through the left arm, right arm out and up. Good. Noticing legs, feet, where's your weight in your feet, length of neck. And let's bring that right hand down and turn towards the front of the room. You can keep that back heel up. You can put that left foot on the floor. You can even anchor your feet and lift slightly off the chair. Good. Notice breath, contact, feet, notice softness, right? Easy effort. And then release that left hand down. Lift the back heel, rounding up, pressing into the feet. Sitting bones heavy. Let's take the arms out and up. Warrior one. And then release. And soften one more time. Hands on chair. Lifting heels. Feet a little bit away from the chair. Keep it as easy as you want. Hands push the chair down. Hips come off. And then hips come forward and up. And down. And you can even start with the heels on the ground. Shift forward and then lift the heels. And shift away from the chair. And come down. One last one. Okay, and then we're just going to throw this in. Again, this is not gentle, but play with it. Right, sometimes squeezing the kidneys from the back is really nice. So same thing that we've been doing, kind of pushing and moving forward. And I'm going to take the feet a little bit wider, one hand on the chair. Right, so we're going a little bit more towards a wild thing. So right hand on the chair, feet a little wider. Maybe start with the heels down. Push down into the chair, hips forward, heels lift, hips lift, left arm lift, and look up. You can stay closer to the chair or push away from the chair and come back. You can have feet closer, feet wider, sometimes more of a lunge or wide leg, close to the chair, a little different. Left hand on the chair, start on your heels, maybe roll up to the balls of the feet, hips away from the chair, right arm up. You can either turn and look towards the chair or look towards the ceiling. And come back. First side again. Again, experiment, feet closer, feet further, either from each other or the chair. Right hand down. Hips off the chair, heels up, either looking towards the chair or looking up. And down. Last time, left side, left hand down. Hips slide forward, heels lift, hips lift, chest lifts, arms long. Like a big yawn. And come back. Okay, good. So, feet a little more parallel, toes a little bit more parallel. Let's reach the arms forward. Utkatasana shape, and I'm just going to again press heels down, maybe even tuck tailbone down, lift the belly, and come off the chair. And then slowly come up to stand. Okay, a little downward dog shape before we come to the floor. Hands on chairs, step your feet back, hips back. Bend your knees. Let that, notice how that lets the ribs sink a little bit more. There's a little less work in the upper back, mid back. And straighten legs. What changes? And bend. Right shoulder, shoulder blades, under shoulder, and straighten. One more. Bend and straighten, nice and slow. Good, walking forward. Put chair off to the side. And come onto your back. All right. So knees bent for a few moments just to let the lower back settle. Checking in. Right hip, right ribs, left ribs. Right, participating in observing so that you can notice when something isn't settling. Jaw, neck. Good. Okay, let's straighten that left leg. Good, we're gonna try this a couple ways. So let's take that right arm up to the ceiling and I'm gonna extend the wrist, so palm facing the ceiling, stretch the fingers. Then I'm gonna bend the arm and maybe put the hand, right? So the hand comes to the floor next to my head, but fingers facing either side of the room or towards the feet, like we're preparing for a wheel. And maybe just take a moment to move your elbow kind of away from your body and towards your body, just to move the shoulder blade, just so you have access to movement here. I'm not going to put a lot of weight on it, but we are going to press into the right foot and the right hand, just slowly tipping the pelvis and the ribs to the left. Right, so right foot stays engaged with the floor, right hand stays engaged with the floor. Notice what happens in that whole elbow, armpit, tricep, under shoulder, back shoulder, and then roll back onto your back. And one more, again, nice and easy, so you can explore not just range for range, but what happens when you go further? What can soften, settle, lengthen, integrate, and then slowly roll back onto your back. Good, slight variation. One more time, pressing, rolling. Good, and then letting that right arm just slide along the floor around to the left, maybe even past that left hand. Good. And then start to extend that right leg. So my right arm is reaching past that left arm on that left side of the room. And then the right leg is starting to extend to that right corner away from the right hand. And then I'm going to slowly let that right leg pull me back onto my back. Right arm traces around the head. And just pause, breathe. And then let's bend that left leg, left arm up to the ceiling. Good. Again, let's bring the palm to face the ceiling, so extending that wrist. And then bend the left arm and palm to the floor by the head. And you can turn the fingers out to the side of the room. Sometimes that just makes it easier. And then pressing left foot down, left hand down, tipping to the right. Not a lot of force in the tissue. It's really what can happen in that front hip and that under shoulder, and can they do it together? And then roll onto your back. Like the imaginings of a wheel. And then again, pressing into left hand, left foot, and tipping, just rolling onto that right hip, right shoulder. Even imagining that left knee and left elbow moving away from each other. And then as you roll back onto your back, they come closer to each other. One more time. And what has to happen in the pelvis, in the shoulder, in the ribs, jaw, neck, shoulder blade, armpit. Good. This time, let's let that left hand slide around the head towards the right arm, past the right arm. And then let that left leg start to straighten. And then slowly, slowly straighten, and then slowly pull you back onto your back. Left arm slides around the head. Oh, let's bend that right leg. And we're just going to go press into the right foot. Take that right arm up to the ceiling and over to the left. This time I'm going to let the ribs roll a little more so my head either comes onto my left arm or past the left arm. And then again, I'm going to slide that right leg away from the right arm. And back onto the back, right arm traces around the head. One more, left leg bends. Pressing into that left foot, left arm reaches to the ceiling and over to the right. I'm rolling a little bit more so my head comes either onto the arm or past. Even slide that left leg away. Let it straighten, feel that whole side body rotation, long rotation, and then let it slide the left arm around the head and come back. All right, let's just slide the right leg to the left leg, up and over the left leg and out to the left side of the room. So you can even catch that right foot with your left hand. So we're in a little rotated cross or rotated triangle shape-ish. Maybe a little point and flex through that right foot. Let's take that right arm to the ceiling and up and over to that right leg. And then trace around the head on the floor and come back out to the right arm to the right. And let's bend that right knee, still holding that right leg with the left hand. Another breath or two. Just inhale, maybe letting the ribs turn towards the ceiling as that right knee stays where it is. Good. And then extend that right leg out to the left a little, and then slide it towards the left leg, up and over and out to the right. Just getting a little more side body opening. Good. Left leg slides to right leg, up and over and out and up. You can grab the foot, the leg, your leggings. Take that left arm to the ceiling and then over to the left leg. Good. And then tracing around the head with that left arm and out to the side. Again, just quietly letting the breath deepen. Maybe there's more of a turn in the ribs. Good. And then bending that left leg. Another breath. And then extending that left leg, slide it towards, but really reaching it away from the left arm as you slide towards the right leg, up and over and out to the side. Good. Let's bend knees. Good. Both knees just drop right and left, nice and easy. Notice if the head is moving, even if it's subtle, just to keep that whole spinal column moving. And let's pause just for a moment and center. I'm going to press into the feet and lift the hips and take the hips to the left. And then drop the knees to the right and take the knees just to the outside of the hips or closer to the chest. And a little rotation, both knees bent. Good. Little circle with the arm. Let's take that left arm, slide it towards the hips, up and around and across left outer hip. Reach forward past the knees, up and around and back to where we started. Good. And then rolling back onto your back. Good. Press into your feet, lift your hips, shift your hips to the right, knees drop to the left. Right leg to left leg, knees to the outside of the hips. You can left hand on your knees if you'd like. Longer breaths, slower breaths. Right arm down towards the hips, across the outer leg and forward, up and around and back to where we started. Good. Legs quietly roll back to center. Just a couple of anterior, posterior tilts to find that center line bilateral movement, right and left hip moving together. Maybe even just notice the weight in the feet. Is it similar or different? Good, and pause. So you can either put legs on chair or up on wall, or if you're staying where you are, feet together, knees apart. You can grab blocks under thighs, blankets under thighs, chair under shins, the lower legs. Let yourself be warm. Cover yourself if you need to. Good. If you're still possibly in Baddha Konasana, you could slide the feet down, extend. Noticing rhythm of breath. And let that awareness draw you deeper in. And past the noise, past the distraction, right to the source. Right to the source of who you are.